What's up, guys? It's your boy Kittens coming back to you guys with an idea video, and this idea is spawning a little bit off of seeing a bunch of different people just talking about how Apex has fallen off a little bit, how the Twitch stuff is a little bit down, and I was just thinking of ideas to really spice up gameplay to make it really interesting while also interconnecting buffs and nerfs and things that have been kind of problematic, things like Seer, and the idea is to add 2 tacticals for a number of different characters. There's a number of different characters that are in a really comfortable place to have 2 tacticals where they wouldn't be too powerful, while also being a natural counter to other characters. An easy thing is like, building meta, like I've been talking about, gets a little bit too powerful or something towards the end of the season. Mad Maggie could get 2 drills. That would be exceptionally powerful for the extra damage and things like that. But to combat a meta, that actually would be a really nice decision to see. It'd actually be a lot of fun. And, to point out some of the characters that it really wouldn't matter too much. Let's say Mirage. Mirage could definitely use a second guy. As you're going around, you can do 2 different dudes. You clue them into your positioning. And then it's a little bit harder for the enemies to pick off, who's a token and who isn't. And it'll add a little bit more niche play for Mirage characters for, instead of hiding behind the rock or not hiding behind the rock, there's now a third person that you can kind of, use to trick and kind of bamboozle the dudes. And the thing for Seer, I think Seer is maybe an important one to touch on because that's what people have been complaining about. Seer is exceptionally powerful, and really just to point out the really powerful thing that Seer does outside of just double scans is stopping revives and stopping heals. That's really the big thing that he does, because if you're using that time for a revive or using the time for a heal and you're just not doing something else, well, and it stops, that's 3, 4, 5 seconds that you're basically just doing nothing, just standing there, That's just really powerful. But a natural counter to that would be 2 Bloodhound scans. If you value the scans just for themselves, you might want to use Bloodhound instead of Seer because the scan's a little bit easier to use. With Seer, your ultimate is going to get everyone, but people can do some weird ducking and things like that to kind of get out of the ultimates. But when you use your tactical, you kind of sometimes give people pseudo assassin, from Call of Duty stuff, where you scan 1 or 2 guys and then your team's paying attention to those ones, but the other guy's just somewhere. So, that could be an interesting way to nerf Seer without touching him at all, and really just leaving him alone, making Bloodhound a better pick. Now, there's a couple interesting nuances for this that I want to talk about. Outside of tacticals, there's a handful of characters that I also think are in a really good place to get a second ultimate. Crypto is one of those ones that I have a video talking about some of the mathematics and why his abilities are actually strictly a detriment to the team, just mathematically. And I know that's not always the way it plays out. Using the ultimates and, stuff blowing up is always so fun. But honestly, Crypto having 2 ultimates, the worst thing that happens is that you fully shield break a team. And honestly, I think he's in a really comfortable place to have 2 ultimates. Also, one other thing to combat building meta, and I talked about that a little, the two drills for the Mad Maggie. One character that's been kind of left alone, been kicked and beaten, and the adopted child of Apex, it's Wraith. I feel like Wraith is sitting in a comfortable place where she could get a second ultimate or a second tactical. A second ultimate just for fun, just bamboozle and fun. But the second tactical could be legitimately purposeful to combat building meta because, you tactical into a fight, the team inside is scrambling around trying to deal with the Wraith guy, and then your team on the outside can do a lot of harassment, and that could just be devastating to building teams camping. So, I think there really is a handful of characters that are in a really comfy spot for extra tacticals, and I'd love to push that idea to possibly see that happen, to have some really refreshing, fun gameplay. So ultimately, I think what I'd want to say about this video is that I have hope that the game will be doing pretty well. Even though we see some numbers falling down and stuff, we do still see some, some really fun stuff from the game. And, me putting these ideas out there is that subtle hope that, the game will, keep improving and changing as the years go by. So, again, it's been your boy Kittens. Like, subscribe, all the jazz. Peace.